Have you heard about the woman who murdered her parents and lived with their bodies for 4 years? She lied, deceived, gambled online, and stole nearly £200,000. How was this even possible? Today, I'm telling you the story of Virginia McCullough, one of the most shocking crimes I've ever come across. Are you ready? Hit subscribe because you won't want to miss stories like this. Let's dive in. This is a tale of deception, manipulation, and unimaginable horror. A story that makes you question, how well do we really know those closest to us? Virginia McCullough was the youngest of 5 daughters in the McCullough family. Her parents, John and Lois, were elderly and in poor health, relying heavily on Virginia as their caregiver. John suffered from hypertension, diabetes, and glaucoma, while Lois struggled with agoraphobia and obsessive-compulsive traits. Virginia lived rent-free in her parents' home, claiming to study art, but secretly accumulated £60,000 in debt under their names. She forged letters and manipulated her parents, portraying herself as a compulsive liar and socially awkward individual. From the outside, the McCullough family seemed ordinary, but beneath the surface, tensions simmered. Virginia's sisters had moved out, leaving her as the sole caregiver. Her parents' declining health and her own financial troubles created an atmosphere of stress and growing frustration. What drove Virginia to such extreme actions? Was it greed, desperation, or something much darker? In March 2019, Virginia began planning the murder of her parents. She stockpiled prescription drugs, bought a knife, and acquired tools to crush medication. Her meticulous preparations suggest a cold, calculated personality. On June 17, 2019, Virginia poisoned her father, John, by giving him a lethal dose of crushed pills mixed into his drink. Her mother, Lois, survived the initial poisoning attempt, so the next day, Virginia stabbed her to death and delivered fatal blows. After the murders, Virginia hid the bodies. She sealed her father's body in a makeshift tomb made of breeze blocks and sleeping bags in the downstairs study. Her mother's body was hidden in an upstairs wardrobe, wrapped in a sleeping bag. For 4 years, Virginia lived with the decomposing bodies of her parents. She continued to collect their pensions, gambled online, and sold their possessions, amassing £149,697 in ill-gotten gains. How could someone live with the bodies of their murdered parents for so long? Psychologists suggest that Virginia's actions indicate a profound detachment from reality and a lack of empathy. Her behavior is an example of extreme selfishness and a pathological ability to manipulate. Virginia not only murdered her parents, but also maintained the illusion that they were alive for years. She sent birthday cards and text messages to relatives, pretending her parents were healthy and busy. She forged letters from her mother to her sisters, claiming they were traveling or too occupied to meet. The COVID-19 pandemic helped her maintain this fiction. Limited social contact meant no one noticed anything was wrong. Virginia exploited her parents even after their deaths. She sold their car, furniture, and other belongings, using the money to fund her gambling addiction. Her greed knew no bounds. How was it possible that no one noticed something was amiss? The answer lies in Virginia's ability to manipulate and exploit the trust of those around her. In September 2023, this macabre story came to an end. When Virginia canceled her parents' medical appointments, their family doctor alerted the police. Officers searched the house and discovered the bodies. Virginia immediately confessed, saying, "I knew this day would come eventually." Body cam footage shows how calmly Virginia recounted her crimes. She described killing her mother as like someone playing the xylophone badly. She also showed the police where she had hidden the murder weapons. Her cold demeanor and lack of emotion shocked even seasoned investigators. In July 2024, Virginia pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 36 years. The judge described her actions as murders for gain and emphasized that she had violated the sacred trust between parents and child. Although Virginia had been diagnosed with autism and paranoia, the court ruled that these conditions did not significantly reduce her culpability. Virginia McCullough will spend the rest of her life in prison, and her case will remain a chilling reminder of what greed and a lack of empathy can lead to. It's also a story about how easily signs of trouble can be overlooked, even within the closest families. The story of Virginia McCullough is one that stays with you long after hearing it. It's a reminder that evil often hides behind a facade of normalcy. Thank you for joining me today on The Diabolical Daughter. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, when we uncover more stories that shock and provoke reflection.